Welcome, Mr. Dome. As you can see, the price of Bitcoin is on the verge of breakout. So in this video, we will talk about the Tesla selling or moving $760 million of Bitcoin. We will talk about Israel's planned attack against Iran, because those usually cause a dip in Bitcoin price. And we will obviously talk about fundamentals and other pieces of news and the technicals to basically determine where we think the price will go next. And I will briefly talk about altcoins at the end of the video as well, if you are interested. Before we get started, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. First off, before we talk about the price here in depth, let's take a look at the biggest news, which is obviously Israel's counterattack against Iran before US elections. This is now US officials' expectation, and this is coming from CNN. And I chose this specific source for a reason. I know it's the mouthpiece of the Democratic Party, but there's something interesting here. So for Biden and Harris, this conflict would pose an unwelcome development. And Netanyahu is acutely aware how this will affect the presidential elections. So you can imagine the arm wrestling going on behind the scenes, obviously, from this attack here. But it seems like they know this will happen and it will come before the election. And for some reason, it is good for Trump. I don't know if Trump has a secret deal with Netanyahu or not, but it certainly seems that way, at least from here. Also, at least the Israel, they don't intend to go after Iran's nuclear or oil sites during this round. So if Trump becomes the president, I don't think this situation is going to de-escalate. I think Netanyahu and Trump have a deal together. I don't know exactly, maybe not, maybe yes. But if there's an attack, usually the price of Bitcoin dips like 3, 4, even 5 or 6% in the same day. So if that were to happen, that could be a perfect buying opportunity. That's why I'm sharing this piece of news here. We don't know when it will come, but it will probably come in the next 3 weeks, at least according to US officials. Then we had an interesting interview from Kamala Harris, and you have to listen to this because she said something very, very interesting that I didn't see anyone else pick up. And I watched the whole thing. I think every American voter should see it. It makes Kamala Harris look a little bit like she doesn't know where she is, or she's trying to escape the questions. But it was a very spicy interview. I highly recommend watching it. But let's listen to the most important part for us crypto investors. Take a look.
Journal, which have all studied our plans and have indicated my plans for our economy would strengthen our economy, his would make them weaker, would ignite inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. Those are the...
Did you listen? If Trump becomes the president, he would invite a recession in the middle of 2025, in the middle of next year. So this is exactly what I've been talking about. That is quite likely. I made a specific video about it. By the way, watch it somewhere on the screen right now, about the stock market crash in the next 3 to 9 months. This seems like she knows it is coming, and she is trying to pin it on Donald Trump. And then she can come out and basically say like, see, I told you guys, I was right. We had a recession, and Donald Trump is to blame. So she is trying to play for the future. Obviously, it wouldn't matter who becomes the president, because you can see there's a massive bubble in the stock market right now. There's a bubble in the housing prices, and maybe even in crypto, who knows. But eventually there will be a market crash again, like we saw in 2008, like we saw in the dot-com bubble. Eventually, markets will have a crash, like we saw in the COVID crash as well. So if there will be a crash during Donald Trump, maybe it will happen. It seems like she knows something and basically aligns with what I've been sharing on this channel as well. Wanted to share it here as well. Then Ki-Young-Jung, who is the CEO and founder of CryptoQuant, which I use to analyze Bitcoin with, he shared this chart here, basically showing that new whales that have at least 1,000 Bitcoin in their balance sheets, the number of those wallets has increased significantly to now 60,000 wallets. Now, this is a little bit, I don't know if this is 100% accurate or not, because some charts on CryptoQuant are dynamic, which means that the history changes with every single day. It's not like a static chart which only updates at the end here. It basically rewrites the history and the chart looks completely different today than it looks from tomorrow. So I don't know what is going with this chart. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem accurate. So I just wanted to share that this is a potential. This would be highly bullish, but some charts I know in CryptoQuant are false. So I just wanted to share this chart that it may or may not be true, or it may be true, but not nearly to the extent that they are showing here. So I don't know what is going on exactly here, because I cannot see the same stat from sentiment, which I'm currently now using mostly, because I find that the charts on sentiment are more accurate than the charts on CryptoQuant. Next, Donald Trump is looking like he will win the election. So as of now, he actually has 60% chance versus Harris's 40% chance on Polymarket. And Trump is currently leading on every single swing state as well. So let's see, maybe we will get a Trump presidency, but it seems likely. If Trump becomes the president, I do expect that the markets will continue to rally, maybe until we have that recession in the middle of 2025, so or quarter 2 of 2025. Let's see, but it starts to look like Trump will win, which would probably be bullish for the markets in the short term or medium term. And then we had a situation with Tesla that they have moved $760 million worth of Bitcoin, 11,510 Bitcoins to be exact. And they did this on October 15th. And nobody really knows if they sold Bitcoin or if they simply transferred the ownership. Here you can see a bunch of the transactions going into basically the same wallets, or two different, actually 3 different wallets, because this one is here as well. So I don't know exactly what is this. Nobody knows if they sold or they just transferred ownership between the wallets, or they changed custodian. I don't know exactly. Maybe we'll get an announcement later, but at least as of now, the price of Bitcoin has not really reacted to this piece of news. But if Tesla really did sell $760 million worth of Bitcoin, that could cause a small-term panic. Let's see. Next up, we have a situation with the ETFs. So when we take a look at the amount of Bitcoin on ETFs, you can see massive accumulation in the last week. Here you can see $555 million in inflows. Then we saw $370 million, and here you saw $250 million. But the most recent number is only $65 million. So this is significant for the fact that this is clearly diminishing. So we're not seeing the amounts of inflows like we saw before. And for the Bitcoin price to go up, we need more buyers than sellers. So this is kind of showing us that the buying pressure is slowing down. Next up, going into sentiment. And by the way, I'm affiliated with Sentiment. So if you want to access this tool, there's a link in the description if you want to use this. And here, the first important thing is when we take a look at the supply of Bitcoin on exchanges. So as you can see, even during this crazy pump, we are not seeing inflows going into exchanges, which means that people still want to hold Bitcoin. They don't want to sell their Bitcoin and send Bitcoin from their private wallets to centralized wallets. So this is fundamentally extremely good, and would signal that fundamentally people still don't want to sell, even though buying pressure may have been slowing down. The sell pressure is not seemingly mounting up either. Then when we take a look at the funding rates, you can see Bitcoin funding rate is quite at an extreme high. So this is incentivizing people to short Bitcoin and to close their longs. So this is a sell pressure that could cause a small downward move on Bitcoin price in the short term. So this is significant in my opinion. Also, when we take a look at the stablecoins, we are not seeing stablecoin minting, what we have seen practically for the last 3 weeks is sell pressure for stablecoins, redemptions of stablecoins. But this redemption amount of stablecoins is only $1.1 billion, which is a lot, but it's not a lot when you compare it to the whole market cap of $156 billion. Obviously, we want this to go up, and it seems like the redemption pressure has slowed down at least. So maybe we go sideways, or maybe this will resume to the upside, but I don't exactly know from here, but I wanted to report on it as well. Then when we take a look at old wallets, these are this blue line here, you can see practically still no sell pressure at all from whales, from old whales, I mean, wallets that have held Bitcoin for more than 3 years. However, we did see a lot of transfers from wallets that have held Bitcoin between 1 year and 3 years. And I believe the 11,000 Bitcoin that Tesla moved is also shown here on this chart in this 23,000 Bitcoin transaction that we see in October 15th here. I think this is from Tesla. So all in all, old whales still want to hold even at this extreme high, at this resistance level. Finally, when we scroll down here and we take a look at the distribution of Bitcoin, you can see these mega whales who have 10,000 to 100,000 Bitcoin, basically a little bit sell pressure, but almost no transactions at all or sell pressure from them. Also, the whales, the second largest whales, they are actually accumulating Bitcoin at this pump here, which is interesting. But we are seeing sell pressure from smaller wallets, wallets that have 1 to 100 Bitcoin and wallets that have 100 to 1,000 Bitcoin. A little bit sell pressure from those, but these mega whales and these large whales are not selling, and large whales are actually either just holding and other people are selling, or they are accumulating. Not exactly sure, because this is a percentage in their balances. So all in all, fundamentally, Bitcoin looks solid in my opinion. Even though in the short term the funding rate is quite high, which is bearish, it is fundamentally speaking solid. Now, before we talk about the price and the technicals, let's go to look at Bitcoin liquidation heat map, so we can see the amount of Bitcoin that will be liquidated if we go up or if we go down. And as you can see, we are creating this hot zone here above the current price range, 68,000 to basically $69,200. This is in the 2-week chart here. Then there's a few other amazing zones as well, but I feel like price would not go this low again. At least that's what I hope. Obviously, if Kamala Harris becomes the president, then that could be the case. But all in all, there are some hot zones here as well. But as you can see, there's a hot zone basically building up above here. And when we go to the 3-day chart here, it's even clearer to see where is the hot zone. So you saw a lot of people shorting Bitcoin at this resistance, obviously. So you start to see a lot of liquidity here. Just in the last 3 days, $220 million in this price, $222 million, and going upwards as well. Now, looking at this would be the price range that it's likely that Bitcoin would go soon, but I don't think it will go there immediately. So going to the chart here, the important thing to look at is that we had this trend line and we broke to the upside, at least for now. Then we basically rejected from this long-term white trend line here. Now, after making this video, who knows, the price of Bitcoin may already just shoot up, like it did after my previous video when I said Bitcoin is very likely to go to 67,000 very soon, and in the next 24 hours it already happened. So maybe it will be that violent, because when you just make this simple trend line here, you can see that if we have a bounce here once again, like 67,000, it's quite likely that Bitcoin price will continue to go to the upside, right? But in the short term, if you go to 1 hour chart, well, it's basically the same. So it's likely that we get basically a bounce from here. But what I'm kind of expecting is, because the funding rates are so overheated, and the people who want to take profits are still taking profits. Not everybody had a chance to sell yet. It might take a little while to actually break this resistance. So what I kind of want to see, and it may or may not happen, but I would like to basically see a move back to these two levels. So the first level is this here. So $66,500. This is basically where I would like to see Bitcoin price go to first. To basically just take out some crazy longs that basically started longing at the top here. By the way, which I already did, and then I got stopped out. But I think more people want to get stopped as well. Go back to this previous high here, 66,500. The other one is basically back to this trend line here at roughly $65,000. If the price would go here, that would be a perfect area to have a bounce. You can see there was a lot of liquidity here, and there's a lot of liquidity here as well. And here, all of these basically coincide with $65,000, or even a little bit lower, like 64,600. That's kind of what I would like to see. And I would like to see the Israel attack as soon as possible into Iran. Not that I want to see the attack, but because I want to get it out of the way, so it's not scaring us anymore. And if that attack would happen and Bitcoin goes to like 65,000, that would be my perfect opportunity to basically go crazy long on Bitcoin. But here, it's a little bit risky to long Bitcoin immediately. First off, we don't know who is the president. The markets may just crash if Kamala Harris becomes the president. Or even if Donald Trump becomes the president, but there's a widespread crazy outbreak of riots and all these things, who knows. But what is the best place to actually long Bitcoin, in my opinion, is that 65K, and also after we take out this previous high here. Because for a bull market, you need higher highs and higher lows. And for now, we need to get this higher high here. After we have broken upwards from this this previous high, then it's officially back a bull market. So above here, if you are longing Bitcoin, above practically $70,100. What is the high here? Let me see. All of these are 69,500, practically above $70,000 Bitcoin. If you long Bitcoin above $70,000, that's probably when we see these massive moves to the upside. So a few predictions to it, which I will give here, or a few ways Bitcoin could go, is first off, we have the pullback, like I say, like back to 65K. And from here, we go upwards, or we might even go peak right about 69K to take out those short liquidations that I just showed you previously. And from here, we have a major pullback, and then we finally go to the upside after, maybe even after the elections, who knows. So these are basically the two scenarios that I see right now. So right now, it's probably better not to trade this noise here at the top, because we want to kind of see where Bitcoin price is going fast. And if you want to long, I think you will get a better longing opportunities with smaller risk. And if you long above $70,000 Bitcoin, then you have the least amount of risk. Also, just to cram it in this video, let's talk about altcoins just a little bit. So there's a theory about a meme coin super cycle, and I will make a video about it, basically critiquing the idea and also entertaining with the idea if it's actually true. Because when we take a look at the last 7-day moves of the of different altcoins, at least the ones that I currently follow, you can see a lot of meme coins here like Bonk, Doji, Doge, Win, and those are performing better than Bitcoin. And then you have Dex Tools, which by the way is an amazing coin, because this is kind of standing on the back of altcoins, and it's only $70 million market cap. So DEX Tools, it is the charting software or website for meme coins practically. Coins that aren't existing on any centralized exchange. You cannot find those meme coins on TradingView. You have to use DEX Tools for that. And DEX Tools, if you want to promote your coin there, you have to pay a fee, and that's basically the business model for DEX token. So this is looking like is quite good. It's already up a little bit from the bottoms here, but as you can see, it's basically breaking down from this downward channel here. So DEX Tools looks quite good as well. So I'll talk about this in depth in tomorrow's video when I make the video about the meme coin super cycle. But all in all, Bitcoin is still outperforming most altcoins in the short term. So even though Bitcoin is boring, it is still the king. So altcoins, if you want to get into altcoins, maybe meme coins are the way to go. But all in all, you probably want to basically just be in Bitcoin for now. But meme coins, they are basically peaking upwards as well. I will make a detailed analysis in tomorrow's video. So if you want to see that one, subscribe to the channel. And also, if you want to create an account on Bybit and trade these markets, make sure to use my affiliate link, because you are eligible for, you are probably eligible for up to $500 in airdrops on Bybit. There's a bunch of rewards as well if you use my affiliate link, and make sure to actually use my code denome in the sign up phase as well. Also, you can set up the Bybit wallet if you just want to trade crypto without risking your capital with a demo account. I think the demo account on Bybit is better than on any other platform. So that's why I like Bybit as well. So that's it for my video today. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and bye-bye.